Hi, True Crime Grapevine fans. It's me, Patty Lee. Today, at the time of taping, is the evening of Saturday, August 12th. So if you're new here, hi. I'm your True Crime Grapevine host. This channel is about giving you an overview, and it's not really quick. I tell you a whole review of what all the true crime cases currently that are being talked about on all the interwebs and TV and newspapers and wherever else people are talking about true crime. I watch and listen to it all week, and I'm your dyslexic detective. You can sit right down here next to me on the grapevine, and I'll tell you what's been going on, just like any good grapevine person would tell you. I will let you know who my main squeezes are, and I will try to send you to them for like the primary source for the good juicy scoop. But I'm just going to give you an overview. And it takes a while depending on how much has been going on. So this week, which is episode 25, we have the Kiely Rodni case. We also have In the Flight that I'm calling. Oh, yes. So there's flights because I pair a drink with every case because it's the grapevine. So with the Kiely Rodni case, we're pairing an ice pink cooler because she was pink. She's a girl, so she's pink, and we're gonna be drinking it out of our red Solo cup because that's how kids party, right? We're also gonna be covering a flight about love kills. That's like the couples cases, and we have an update on our OnlyFans case of Courtney Taylor. Her actual name is Courtney Clenny, but her Instagram and OnlyFans name is Courtney Taylor, and she's got millions of followers. And now, one more. We are going to be covering, also in the Love Kills flight, more about that dentist, the deadly dentist, who, went on a big hunt and ended up bagging his wife. Yes, he was sentenced, and we'll talk more about it. That happened last week, but I just mentioned that he was found guilty, but I'm going to explain more of that case to you quickly to you. This week, we're also going to be discussing the big court cases. We had updates on the Harmony Montgomery case. Gabby Petito's family has filed another lawsuit we'll talk about. Alex Murdaugh has his case. Now, he's got multiple cases, right? And we pair him with 19 crimes, because which cases are we talking about? Well, we're talking about his liability related to the death of Mallory Beach that he wanted put on hold. And also we're going to be talking about one of his accomplices is going back to the pokey because he broke his bond. We'll be updating you also in the big court cases on the Daybell Vallow consumptive testing. All right, then we're going to have a case with two cases in it. One, I'm calling that Flight Speed Kills. We're going to be talking about the ICU nurse. If you might have seen it on social media, she was the Mercedes that smashed right into, she had the red light in LA and just smashed right into traffic that was crossing that had the right of way, and that was horrible. And then in another crazy speed kills case, moving into our celebrity cases, we're going to be talking about Anne Heche's accident, also plowing, not into traffic, but into someone's home, and what happened there. And for the rest of the celebrity case flight, we'll be talking again more about the Depp Heard documents that were unsealed due to the fact that there was a final verdict, and that's what happens in court, which, if you listen to some mainstream media sources, you might wonder, really? Because it doesn't seem that way. They're making a big deal out of it. We'll talk about that because everybody else is still talking about that a little bit. And we've got one celebrity. It's a celebrity, and it's also a political case because it's a Celebrity Apprentice star. You might know him as the 45th president, who's had a little bit of trouble, and his trouble has ignited violence. Shocker. And I'm not talking about January 6th. Oh no. Right here in my home state, of Ohio. Well, I'm actually on the border of Michigan, Ohio, but close enough. Yeah. So we'll be getting into that. So let me start with our first case, the Kiely Rodni case. All right. So I just finished watching the press conference. They've had a press. That's the dyslexic detective part. They have had a press conference in Placer County, California, which is near Truckee. Truckee, California is the city. It's near Tahoe, about 45 minutes an hour, a little northwest of Tahoe. And the county that Truckee, California is located in is Placer County. And there's a neighboring county, Nevada County, which is confusing because the actual state of Nevada isn't too far, but that county in California is also helping with this case. So we're going to get into that. They just had so they had 5 o'clock press conferences Thursday, Friday, and then today on Saturday. So we'll get into why. Let me put those notes here. So we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to pour this glass of ice pink lemonade Smirnoff cooler. That is what I am pairing for this case. And I'm going to just pour out half of it. This is for Kylie and her mother and father and friends. And we're going to be talking about all of them because, yeah, things have gotten, you should right there with Fred, things have gotten a little crazy. So here's to finding Kylie. Let's all find her. We're going to talk about why it's been a little problematic and talk about why I'm drinking out of a red Solo cup. Okay, if you've watched the True Crime Grapevine before, you'll know I started drinking just because it's a shtick, because it's the Grapevine. I don't really drink that much. I like coolers. Like teenagers. I think the Pink Lemonade, not quite as sweet as the red, white, and berry, but very good. All right, what do we know about Kiely Rodni? Oh, and before I start, True Crime fans, I just want to say, if you notice, I'm wearing my August yellow for sunflowers, and you know that's in honor of our friend Dylan Rounds, who is a missing now 20-year-old from Lucin, Utah. And we've got some lights here that are sunflowers and some sunflowers up on our background here. So please keep him, his mother, and we'll be talking a little bit. There's a little tie-in here with the Kiely Rhoden case. So please keep them in your prayers or your thoughts or your vibes or whatever you think. That would really help. So as I said before, we're going to continue to dress in sunflower yellow. We are outside my house planting sunflowers to help everybody keep Dylan Rounds in your memory. Please do. So let's get on with this Kiely Rhoden case. All right, so Kiely Rhoden, she's 16. I didn't check I don't think I wrote down when her birthday is, but she must be turning 17 soon because they said she skipped a year in school and she graduated high school, and she went to this party, and that's where this all begins. So Kylie is a 5'7", 115 pounds, so she's thin and rather tall for a woman, a blonde-haired young lady. She, when she went missing, so the last picture they have of her was from a store in Truckee. She was getting ready to go to this event at which she did not return. She was wearing a black spaghetti strap, like one piece, that tucked right into her green Dickie pants. She was wearing 3 gold chains that she wore all the time, and the Placer County spokesperson has said, please look, they're looking for these 3 gold chains. That's distinctive. She also has a gold, I think it was distinctive, a belly button ring that was rather a little more chunky. It wasn't a jewel. It was like a little gold piece in her belly button. And she has a small nose piercing. Her hair it looks like it's rather long. And she let's see, has a nose piercing ring. At the time, they think when she went to this, so she went to a party in the woods. It was a graduation party at the, like not just random woods, at the Prossner Campground, where there's a reservoir lake there. There's this big campground. This was a common place of the friends who have spoken publicly. So there's 3 or 4 friends that have spoken publicly right away. There's her friend Sammy, and there's a friend Magdalene, Mags. Now, because these are teenagers and because this has come out in drips and drabs, you know, like you get a little bit and then you get more, it appears as if she may have driven with Mags or to the party in the woods, this graduation party, and they did not expect to be that. Like as soon as they got there, it was clear there were lots more people than they expected. So it's been reported maybe upwards of 300 or so people. They were there all night. They went out there at night and stayed out there till very late. Some people actually slept in their cars and stayed out there because they were drinking, and so, you know, it was safer not to drive. She drove her silver CRV. It's a 2013 CRV. Her plate is California, so CA. It's a California plate. 8YUR 127. So the number 8 YUR 127. That's her plates if you're seeing a car. It's a silver CRV 2013. Okay, so she's dressed in green dicky pants. She's got, I don't know if we know her shoes, if she had sandals or not. She is dressed in a spaghetti strap tuck-in one piece into those pants and her 3 gold chains, and she borrowed a sweatshirt. Now, it's not clear who gave her the sweatshirt, but I guess it was getting chilly, later in the evening. At midnight, it was 69 degrees, so not too chilly, but she's a very thin girl. So the sweatshirt is an oddity it's an Urban Outfitters sweatshirt, so there's nothing odd about teenagers having that. But it had a Lana Del Rey, who is a singing artist. It had a song lyric, and the lyric was, "You don't want to be forgotten, you just want to disappear." Now, I'm unclear as to where the thing about they say she may or may not have the sweatshirt on. We all know that's weird, right? I don't know who reported it. I don't know. They don't say who. They said they don't know who gave it to her. Again, an Urban Outfitters sweatshirt isn't weird. And it's got beautiful flowers on it, so it's not weird that somebody would let her borrow it. But the fact that it said that, it's either weirdly just ironic. It's just weird. Anyways, but that's one of the things to look for. So she appears to have been at the party. It appears she was drinking like everybody else. It is unclear from her friend's story. So around 11:30, I guess she bebopped around the party with her friend Sammy, is what Sammy says. They went apart, they came back, so they were like hanging out as a pair. It is unclear. Some people are claiming Sammy threw the party, and that was never said before, so I don't know if that's true. Again, we're going to hear a lot of things because what we are knowing is from drunk, mostly teenagers. Apparently around 11:30, she texted her mom. Again, this is texting, right? So if it was her, but Sammy said they kept going back to the car to charge their phones. And she said she and some friends were in the car, and she had texted her mom that she was going to leave in about 45 minutes. And now she was supposed to be home by 12:30. Her mom her mother said, I extended her curfew. The park is It's only 12 miles away, but because it's in this sort of like very rugged mountainous region, they're very close to Donner Pass. If you know your history, you know, like you don't want to get caught in Donner Pass. So it's up in the Sierra, not in the mountains, but like in those areas close to it, I guess. And if you've seen pictures, it doesn't look like mountain. It's scary, but it is very rugged out there. So if you Google it, she lived with her family at it looks like they also ran it's called like the Lost Trail, like a place you could stay, a Airbnb type situation. It is 31 minutes. So it's interesting that she texted at 11:30 that she'd be leaving in 45 minutes. Because it would seem more like I'll be home in 45 minutes. So maybe there's a misunderstanding there. But apparently that's what she said. And they have the text. So I don't know if apparently the text said I'll be leaving in about 45 minutes. Then the phone goes off and it last pings around 12:30. Sammy said she got a call from her. She thought around 12:36, but so maybe it's all around the last ping. There's a phone call. It's unclear about the phone call because the police aren't saying there was a phone call made. They just said the last ping was in that area it's near the water, but the camp area is near the water. And if you know how cell towers work, so the man in charge, one of them said it was just as much on land as it was on water, that last ping around, and they're saying around 12:30. So that's what they're saying. And apparently it appears as if Sammy said, I got a call from her, and she said, do you still want to ride home? And Sammy had said she spoke to her and said she looked too drunk to drive. She thought maybe she was going to stay there then, and she got a ride home with somebody else. So it's a little unclear, and because of that sort of non-logical response that people can't put it together exactly, and we don't have the evidence like police do, people are questioning Sammy online. So this is where this gets to be with the Dylan Rounds case. There's a little tie-in. The tie-in is that when Dylan's mom came out and spoke, and she went on all the YouTube channels she could, constantly trying to get out information, that's the same thing that Sammy has done. Sammy has spoken to multiple YouTubers. Then people start picking apart what she says. Oh, well, if she said she spoke to her at 12:30, but that doesn't make any sense, and why'd she leave her friend at the party? I mean, quite frankly, lots of people leave their friends at parties, even though, like, when you're older, and I don't know about you, but I tell my kids, who you go with is who you leave with. You leave no one behind. They don't go home with anybody else. You don't leave them there. We don't do that. It's like war. Leave no man or woman behind, right? But that doesn't always happen, right? Unfortunately, when people are drinking and doing other things. So there's that. But the connection is people were getting all, like, there were YouTubers that were getting all like, oh, Dylan's mom this, and her relationship with Dylan's family that. And none of that is helpful. And so Dylan's mom's an adult, and so she stepped back a minute, and then now she's only spending her time with law enforcement, and she has spoken to Duty Ron, who is a channel that I would definitely check out because he has a lot of people on his channel who are experts in the field of law enforcement and areas of law enforcement like forensics. Definitely worth watching. So you're not going to get a lot of, oh my gosh, can you believe this? And, oh, who do you know about that? And I don't like them. And don't you think, that's not really helpful. So you can say it, I hope, like I am, respectfully. It doesn't make, there's a part of it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, if her phone shut off at 12:30, how did you talk to her at 12:36? But maybe she really has that on her phone. Like, well, that's when the call ended. And maybe the ping was around 12:30 because, as we know, pings aren't every second. So those two things could exist. And leaving your friend because you think, yeah, I was going to get a ride home with them, and then they seemed trashed. And I decided to go home with somebody else because they wanted to stay and party. That happens, unfortunately. Or did somebody talk Sammy into a car? Come on, you're going back. Like, did somebody grab her? I don't know who Sammy came with because she didn't come. She did not drive up there with Kylie. So did somebody drag her behind home because their mom said you had to? We don't know exactly what happened. But I'm not going to jump on an 18-year-old girl or any other person. Because there's other people who made comments that don't like seem to make a lot of sense. 4 or 5 days into this. So this all happened exactly a week ago today. Right away, people were talking about it by Sunday, and by Monday, I was following the case and watching interviews and, you know, taking my little notes for my true crime fans here. On the True Crime Grapevine, everybody's following it. One particular YouTuber that I like, that I would tell you to check out, is a guy named Melvin. He's in Miami, and he goes by Ickidmel, and it's spelled like little I-C, I think it's capital K, or maybe it's little k, and then capital M-E-L, Mick, oh, and then Ed, with a small, a large E and a small D. It's like education. I don't know. He had a thing about when he made up his handle, but it's Ickidmel altogether. It should come up. He's pretty popular on YouTube. He does a lot of lives. I watch the Gabby Petito case all the time through him. He's able to pull up, unlike me, he's able to pull up a lot of media and documents, and so it's very interesting to watch. So Ickidmel he's been following all of this. His lives had people calling in, and people called in from the Truckee community, people who were searching and saying a lot of things. One thing that somebody on his live said that I watched live, it actually got to a reporter, and then law enforcement followed up, which was, so people have parties all the time. This was a graduation party. Kids were going off to college. It's not a big community. It wasn't supposed to be that big, but it you know, people talked. It got bigger. And then this guy who called in was like, oh yeah, my cousins from like San Francisco area. So people drive up because it's close to Tahoe, and since there's been a pandemic, people have rented houses, you know, to get like where they could walk around instead of staying in cities and when they were doing school. So there's lots of like LA people and other people from San Francisco area, like people who have vacation areas around Tahoe and then closer to Truckee, and those people all go party. And they hear about it through the grapevine, not the true crime grapevine, but their own grapevine, the teenage grapevine. They said there was older guys who would go up there. And by older, I mean in their 20s, older 20s though, like, and would bring drugs and give them away free. So as this case was breaking, not only did I hear that stated and that we know they followed up, again, the Placer County Twitter said to interrupt, you know, the coverage of Kiely Rodni, that they reported that they had arrested a man who was 20 for giving a 15-year-old fentanyl who had overdosed and died. They had arrested him. So, take that for what you will. I don't know where that 20-year-old, he was just arrested today. I don't know where he was a week ago. He was in, the arrest was made, I think it was Rosewood, but it's in the area. Did he go to this party? Was Kylie given fentanyl? Was she slipped something in her drink? See, these are the things we don't know. So the main problem that the police are concerned with is there's 300 people that were there. While her friends are saying, like, we left, but there were other people there, she knew. I mean, she did know the graduation people. They didn't leave her by herself. Somebody else called into Ickidmel and had said, like, they recognized that car, and it was like kitty corner from their car. And the guy said he slept in his car all night. When he woke up in the morning, that other car was gone. So her car was there later, because I think the guy like went to bed around 1 or 2. So It seems like her car had been there, if that guy has a correct memory. Again, this is all supposition, but he didn't hear the car. He thought it was weird he didn't hear the car leaving. Like, did someone push it away? I mean, so there is no clear, definitive explanation, like, yes, somebody took her, or yes, she left later and drove herself, and is she in the water? Is she off the side of the road? Somebody on Ickid Stream brought up, oh, well, this might be like, there was another woman from Reno who was driving in around that area. Reno's like an hour or so away, and she said that woman was 31. She had her dog with her. She was missing for a whole month before hikers found her car. I mean, they had been looking for a month, and I looked it up. Not that we need to know her name, but I did look up that case. I wrote it down. Courtney Bryan, and she was 32 years old, and she was missing. She was reported missing on September 27th, but they hadn't seen her since the 23rd, and she was found October 21st. So about a month later. So cars can't, I mean, you're in a mountainous sort of terrain. Cars can go into things. A lot of people have called Adventures with Purpose, and please don't call them or contact them. They are well aware of the Kiely Rodni case. Law enforcement they have divers out there. They have everybody helping. Right now they have 226 people at last count. Just like official people working with them. Not the searchers. Just they're like law enforcement. And they're pulling they've been working around the clock. These people are covering everything, and Adventures with Purpose is somewhere else anyways, and they said, if they were ever contacted, but they don't come in right away anyways. But everybody is aware. There's Donner Lake. That's if she would have taken, if you do Google Maps from the Prossner Campground to her house at the Lost Trail B&B, you can see, it goes out of the campground around, and if she missed her turn, and they said out there there's no lights. It's not like driving around where if you live in a suburb, or even if you're on the highway going between cities, major highways, anywhere else. This is out in the middle of the mountains, very dark. If she was inebriated or on something, if somebody slipped something into her drink that made her hallucinate, and she went off the road or took the wrong road, then she could have gone to where the Donner Pass is. Speaking of which, the Donner Pass, there's a summit area, and it has these big, huge, I guess they tried to put a tunnel system in there at one time, and there's these huge tunnels, because they were saying they can't find her car, which is odd. So is it in water? Did it go down a hill? And Ickid had said somebody sent him an article, and we at the True Crime Grapevine, or me, responded to him, hey, I wonder if they sent you that, because it's only like 25, 30 minutes away, right? If you didn't go towards their house and just kept going, if you missed that turn, you would end up near these things, and you could hide a car there easily. There's these, it's a tunnel for, steam trains would have gone through. So these huge tunnels, it looks as if you could just drive a car into them. I don't know if that's accurate, and I am sure the police have covered it, but I was wondering if that's why they sent Ickid that. So anyway, many things could have happened, right? So what the police are doing is asking these kids, can you please send us any video, any pictures, anything? They want to locate the very last minute that Kylie was seen there, maybe who she was seen with. There is a portal that you can update. If you go to the Placer County website, so if you go to Twitter or go to Google and you Google Placer County Kiely Rodni, and Kylie is spelled Kiely, and Rodney is spelled Rodni, you can get to a portal that you can upload anonymously stuff into. There's an anonymous tip line. You could call the FBI. You can call the Placer County Sheriff. Any way to contact them. They are not looking to get these kids in trouble. Yes, they know there was underage drinking going on, and that is not their concern right now. Yes, they know drugs. So I talked over the little like amount that my little Canon can record. So as I was saying about contacting the Placer County Sheriff's or FBI about if you know anything, even if you don't know anything, any pictures, any information you have about what happened Saturday, well, it was Friday night, Saturday morning of last week, which is August, I think, 5th and 6th, at the Prossner Campground party, they don't want to get you in trouble. They're not going to charge you. They just want to know, where is Kylie? Who was she with? When did she leave? If they know these things, then they can go find her. So the latest, I think it was yesterday's actually press conference, they mentioned, the spokeswoman mentioned, look, adults, we are hearing in their community in Truckee that adults are saying, like, don't talk. People are afraid of getting in trouble, but someone's baby is missing. And while you sometimes want to, snitches get stitches is bullshit in this response. Sorry, it is. Please do the right thing. We need to find Kylie, wherever she might be. The FBI is looking. The Placer County Sheriff is looking. Nevada County, California Sheriffs. Everybody is out looking, but they need your help. There's a lot of ground to be covered. They do have, it's called the it's like California and Tahoe app. They have an app. Again, this is all on the Placer County social media site. There's also a Find Kylie, I believe, site. And this is another, so the thing about Sammy. It came out that her mom and dad have a, like, her mom's an attorney, her dad's a PI, they look for missing people sometimes, blah, blah, blah. If you want to know why Sammy might be the face of this, understand that kids won't talk. And so I am sure Sammy's family is working with law enforcement and they are making Sammy the face of this. So if everybody could, on social media, get off Sammy because she's not trying to pull a fast one. I mean, it's ridiculous, people. It really is. She's not just talking once or twice. I mean, she's there searching every day. I am sure that she is like the face of this because they need kids to talk. So, and if you're an adult, and we don't have a lot of people who watch this channel, but if you would happen to be from the area, please encourage people to do the right thing. Even it can be an anonymous tip. There is also, I don't know if it's over $50,000 now, but there's at least a $50,000 award for information leading to locating Kylie. So I hope we can do the right thing. I hope we can get people to please input your video, input the pictures from that night. Police need to say it. And let's not attack the messenger. Let's find Kylie. There's also the Cal Top, maybe it's called, app. You can see where people are searching, like I think in real time, but it also, you can join it and it will mark your tracks if you happen to be out there. So while the police, the FBI, they have two, I believe they have two air vehicle, like helicopters or planes. They have one water rescue team at a time, I guess, a boat out there. But if you want to go just look everywhere along the roadway where she would have driven home, around those lakes, don't touch anything. They said, take pictures of anything you think you find. They're looking obviously for her car. It's a silver CRV. It's a 2013 with the license plate 8YUR127. They're looking for her phone. And they're looking, obviously, for Kylie. Let's see. The information, I did want to say, so the one person that I got some of this latest information from was a YouTuber called Tyler Fuller. And he was saying about the thing about Sammy's parents, and obviously Sammy is they're probably all working. They are working with the help of law enforcement, but not being right there next to law enforcement, because the whole deal is that kids don't trust the cops. Kids might trust another kid. That's why a YouTuber is trying to instigate and make Sammy look like there's something nefarious is it's kind of sick. Sorry. I mean, some of the YouTubers, one of them, I'm not going to name the person because I like that person a lot, and it's not Ikidmel. It's another YouTuber. I don't like questioning people who are helping, and you don't know, and you don't know. We don't know. We're not there. We're not their friends. We're not in their community. We have, as much as you know about your life and your experience as a teenager and your teenager's life and what I would do as a parent and blah, 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 we don't know these people. It feels like we do because they're all over the internet, but we don't. So let's give them a moment of grace. That's what I really liked about what Tyler Fuller said. He and I are on the same wavelength about these people are like, when the people come out and talk, you just give them grace, please. All right. I do have the phone numbers that I wanted to tell you, especially the anonymous tip line. It is 530-581-6320. Again, 530-581-6320. And then you hit option 7. You can leave an anonymous tip. I'm trying to see if I had the number. You can call the FBI, your local FBI. If you're out of the country, you can go to your American consulate or embassy if you think you really have some information. Make sure not something you heard on YouTube, but if you happen to have a relative, anybody who went to that party, and they said something about it, go ahead and drop a dime. We will obviously keep you updated. It was kind of scary. I guess they did find a burial site, and the FBI went out and checked it out. It was a dog. But these people, they are looking. The lake is a reservoir that was nearest to them, but then there's also this Donner Lake. They are looking, people. Let's all hope Kylie comes home. Let's hope nobody did slip anything to her drink. Let's hope there weren't, and God forbid that there was an overdose or something and kids got scared. Grown-ups understand that, and it is better that you tell, because things come out anyway. So, just anonymously call. Let's hope we have an update. Here's to giving people grace when they're going through the worst thing in their life. Let's not think of the worst. Let's help and think the best of these people. Just because they're helping out on a case does not mean they're involved. This isn't a crime novel. That's not really a thing with everybody. And if you lost one of your friends, even if she wasn't your best friend, but she was a friend, could we please? All right, true crime fans, if you like the True Crime Grapevine content, please give me a thumbs up. We're still new here, so if you do that, it helps. Maybe put us in front of other eyes. I don't know how great this is, but it would be nice. Subscribe, all the YouTubey things. All right, I'm going to go on to my next case. Let's all say a prayer, send good vibes out for Kiely Rodni to come home. All right, true crime fans.